morning, everyone. It's 10:44 on the clock here. The 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 44 is the Four of Cups. For me, that's always about grounding and integrating and mastering of love, especially allowing yourself to receive love. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Lots of love and healing out to you guys. Lots of blessings to you. This is my e-bowl. I am ha. I am hum. I am mat. And so it is. All right, that's supposed to be the note E, and I'm just feeling my E-bowl. The sound is really good to me. We're going to roll the dice for you. We're going to show you the pictures of the reeds for the union and the twin flames. I was just listening to Elizabeth April. Some interesting little tidbits came up while I was listening to her answer some questions, and we'll get into that too. And oh yeah, before I forget, because I will, and I've been communing with my front yard tree a lot, pretty much every morning now. Definitely feeling their vibrations. It's so funny how they'll hug me when I have certain thoughts. The wind will blow and the leaves will hug me. So I definitely encourage you to do some of the same kind of work. Just before I started the video, I was getting a download about the name Twin Flames because everyone's so concerned about labels and all that kind of stuff. And remember that we all have a name because that's what we go by as humans. And your name is identifying the individuality of you, and twin flames is just a part of that, which makes you you. It doesn't mean that other people aren't special in their own right. They are. Everyone just has different attributes, which you very well know, and your individuality is what makes you you and what makes you so beautiful and loving and all that kind of stuff. So don't be afraid of the labels. Just play with them. It's all about having joy and fun and love and peace here, right? So remember, anything that puts you into fear, let go of it. Something else that Elizabeth had brought up, which was great, regarding, someone had asked her a question. It was actually a PhD who had asked her a question about addiction versus attachment versus loving yourself, right? Because when we're in addiction patterns, we go in that cycle of shaming ourselves for doing it, and then when we don't do it, we're starving ourselves, so we're abusing ourselves, right? So we're either loving ourselves and letting ourselves do what we love to do, or abusing ourselves. And it brought up a wound for me because she was talking about, like an alcoholic would have bonded with their father, who was an alcoholic. So that was the initial wound. So that came up to me around sugar stuff because I love ice cream. And my mother was always so loving to me when we'd have like a Ben & Jerry's ice cream binge together. So that may be, something you want to look into too, because that definitely resonated with me as an entry wound that needed to be cleared. So let's see here. All right, first let's roll the dice. See what's coming up for the twin flames today. Twin flames. All right, we have Scorpio again. That's been coming up a lot. And here is the North Node, which is in Gemini. I believe it's still in Gemini. And we're in the time period of Gemini as well. Where'd you go, Gemini? Or excuse me, the North Node. And then here we have the number 8, which of course is inner and outer strength, the manifestation of your dreams by doing the dance between your masculine and feminine. Okay, as a human being here. So I'm going to leave them there. So we have energies of Gemini, Scorpio, and the 8, which can be the strength card. And that was reminding me to bring up Leo because today's date is the 8th of June. So the 8 is the 8. And as well, we had the number adds up to today 19, which is the sun. So we have both Leo cards. So it's really strong Leo, Scorpio, and then Gemini. And Leo and Scorpio are both fixed signs. And Gemini, of course, is immutable. It's ruled by Mercury, and we have Mercury retrograde. So it may be that the Geminis may feel a little bit fixed right now because Mercury's in retrograde. So there's very much that energy of being fixed and stubborn with those type of energies. They don't like change, right? If you're on that square of Leo and what is it? Leo and Aquarius, Scorpio and Taurus, okay? The fixed signs. So it's feeling very fixed and stubborn, right? So even the people who are normally very mutable, like Gemini, specifically Gemini, could be very fixed right now. So just be aware of that. Okay, so the union energies, and here are the pictures for the union read, and then the twin flame read. Here is this. The union read is for the twin flames too. It's just the union read, and then the twin flame read is a normal read for the twin flame community, both the masculine and feminines. So here's the 4D, 5D, and 6D dimensions for the twins. The left is the divine feminine, the right is the divine masculine, the bridge between in the middle that brings them together in those dimensions. The incoming divine feminine, the outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energy is the moon here. So Luna has been coming up a lot this week as well. And then the closing energy is the 7 of swords here. In this, you can see in this card, it's very much about passing downloads. And you might get a little bit of the Wizard of Oz in there too in the balloon. So we have the union read there, and then here is the read in front of you, which is the twin flame read. This is the main read, the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And the read in front of you with all the clarifiers, it is a 7-deck read. For those of you not familiar with my reads, it's a lot of energy, so if something doesn't resonate, remember it's a general read for all of the twin flames. So if something doesn't resonate, don't take it, but I bring these up to bring up all the energies that we're dealing with so you can actually discern what's right for you, because everyone needs to decide ultimately for themselves, right? So here we go with the union read. Okay, I just want to make sure there's nothing else. Don't forget, today's the 8th and we have the eclipse coming up. I also listened to Magenta Pixie when I woke up this morning, updating the energies for the solar eclipse. If you want to check that out, if you didn't know, she put a video out. A lot of the updates or alerts aren't coming up on YouTube, reminding us of things that we may be attached to. Oh, that's interesting. The word attached just came up regarding the videos and the attachment of the alerts so that you know those videos are coming up. So again, the attachments aren't bad. It's just recognizing what is the wounding regarding that. Why do you have an attachment towards anything? Okay, so whether it's ice cream or alcohol or videos or shopping, whatever it is, whatever the addiction may be, because we all have it, as Elizabeth was discussing today. And then with Magenta, the video was good, but there was something she came up that it didn't trigger me, but it kind of like made me have a kind of a little bit of a sour feeling about that, because even though she didn't mean it, she insinuated that the negative energy, the dark energy with left-handedness, and I just wanted to bring that up because I'm left-handed. And I'm sure she didn't mean it in that sense, because we're always talking about, it's more of that political right-left, or, you know, red pill, green pill that she always talks about, but still, she literally said that the left-handedness is bad. So I just wanted to bring that up because it didn't trigger me, but I was like, is that really the way it needed to come off? It was just very interesting, as if left-handed people need to be more wounded about being different than everybody else, more than they already are, because, you know, in elementary school, the left-handed kids always have to use a different pair of scissors, and, you know, they're the oddball of the class, when ultimately now we know that's great to be individual, but as a child, you know, you may feel left out or different or not accepted because you're different than everybody else. So again, just another way of either feeling ostracized or feeling wonderful about who you are and your uniqueness. Okay, so the union energy here of the 4D, 5D, 6D, and again with the solar eclipse my downloads are encouraging me to spend time in the sun over the next 3 or 4 days. I went out for the first time in a while yesterday to get some sun, and I was just being encouraged to do that through this solar eclipse time, because I haven't done that. And in the past, past couple of years, in the summertime, I'd go out for 10 to 20 minutes every day just to sit in the sun, and I haven't been doing that at all lately. So, except for, of course, when I was away on my trip, we were out and about all the time. So the union read, we have the underlying energy of the moon, or Luna, and just the name Luna, because I told you the other night when I was getting downloads of prior existence of myself, the name Luna came up, and then Two of Cups came up in the middle of the read. Okay, the one-on-one relationships. And then the final card being the Seven of Swords, which can be that liar, cheater, thief card, or inherent card of risk. It doesn't have to be a negative energy. It can just be of taking a risk, because in order to expand, you take risk, right? You go outside of your box. But also in this deck is very much the passing of downloads, receiving and passing of downloads of ideas. The wizard coming up of the Wizard of Oz. So coming down from the lunar eclipse, which was May 26th, I believe, connecting with your twin and taking a risk to pass downloads with men watching, perhaps, or just other people watching or pointing something out. Someone trying to get rid of the evidence was also coming up here. Subconscious emotions calming down, coming off of the lunar eclipse with one-to-one energy and love, and continuing to receive and share or disseminate information, even if some don't like it, or, in my case, if I get negative comments, not worrying about that stuff. The incoming divine feminine is the Five of Pentacles, Abundance, and Eight of Swords. The hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave, in exile from the group, but mother's love is all-encompassing, melting falls, hiding by the creek. The Empress and Abundance, day and night, recovering into abundance and releasing anxieties and frustrations, fears, without a fight. So again, this could be the feminine who's going back and forth between energies, between abundance and fear, but it also could be the feminine being in her Empress abundance with someone around her, like a child who is going through the fear, okay? And her with open arms, pulling them out of that fear, or showing them how they are going into fear and how they can transmute that. We have the 4D energy here of the Sun, again that Leo energy, the Five of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. The Divine Feminine, Sunshine, and Pegasus, the winged horse, giving her love and abundance. Remember that Pegasus is the son of Poseidon, right? Poseidon is very much of the ocean, and here is Pegasus in the sun, flying, a very different energy, being of air and fire, as opposed to the ocean of emotion of their father. So the Divine Feminine with Sunshine and Pegasus, giving her love and abundance, trying to get one to go out and have fun. Mother and Son, S-O-N, or Sun, S-U-N, or the Hermit, or the odd man out. Exposing all with a burst of energy on the run, or taking a jog, or getting errands done. The Divine Masculine with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or world at large, or legacy. Focused on red, and that's referencing a person who may be of red energy or red hair, however you take that, you should receive it. Focused on red, crystals, and the garden of prayer, or pergolas and gazebos, and bridging by the Five of Wands, the waves, expansion, conflict, drama, and groups. In the 4D is the way they're merging together. The 5D here is the Four of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles. The Divine Feminine union, the home, the castle with a drawbridge to all energies, kids, pets, Leo as well, 1111, and pyramid structures. The Divine Masculine coming up is independent with wise counsel, or fixing up yards of other females or daughters. Bridging home and garden, one-to-one, feeling the love in the Garden of Eden. And again, yesterday that Eden came up as Ed, and I always reference God as Mr. Ed, and then En is code for Jesus for me. So very much coming up as connecting to the Garden of Eden, or heaven on earth. So then we have the 6D, which is the wheel, the great wheel or the wheel of fortune, the King of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. The divine feminine destiny of Adam and Eve, the rainbow bridge complete around the world, and what will be, Doris Day and Ted Knight, and the divine masculine with the Queen of Cups in the islands or sipping a drink by the falls, in the lap of luxury, bridging by the King of Swords upright, being the logical man, pure and regal and wise, with sword and stone pillar. Sacred space guarded for destiny with loving woman. The divine feminine here is sunshine, brightness, energy, good health, kids, and animals. Pegasus went a different way from his father. From ocean blues of Poseidon, Pegasus flying across the etheric sunflower, the ball of fire, which is the solar eclipse coming up, the lightning of the home, union, destined and already on the feminine side. And this could be a son with the mother who went in a different direction from their father, since we were bringing up the father-son relationship. But it could be with the mother as well. But here it comes like the son is with the mother, working those kind of energies out, having his wounds from his father and whatever the father is like, or whatever their codependencies are, or attachments. So the divine masculine here is setting up Red or Mother, or two young ladies, all in 3 different places, 2 different manicured yards, so he may be helping others with their yards, and another maybe in the tropics by the falls, or of course Niagara Falls always comes up with that, with the chalice in their hand. So 2 of land and 1 of sea, or 1 like mother and none like me, coming from the divine masculine. I want to bring up too that the union spread definitely is some kind of parties going on, whether it's a reunion, a graduation, a birthday party, or a marriage. Definitely outdoor type parties coming up now with that energy, which makes sense because if they're having a big party, they're likely to have more people if they do it outside. So there's definitely this very positive energy of outdoor celebrations. And then we had the bridge of drama creating heat under the hot desert or humid hazy sun, feeding the Garden of Eden of 2 coming together. The King of Swords being the ringmaster or master of ceremonies, 3 ladies on one side, and union and home, the sun and destiny on the other, or managing multiple homes and or businesses, or perhaps feeling they're the only responsible one and left out by bridging everyone else together. So again, the odd man out energy is coming up again today. The outgoing divine masculine is the 9 of Wands, which is the wounded warrior, the King of Cups, and the Page of Cups, which is unconditional and innocent love. The wounded warrior, right? The polarity of the King and Pages of Cups, again, the father and child being like each other. And then the wounded warrior, the odd man out. The wounded warrior picking flame of unconditional love and exuding innocent love with heart open wide and taking a risk at 605, which is the lovers, and the Hierophant, or change, freedom, and expansion. And then at 606 with the lovers and the lovers, or the 60 of the 6 of Swords and the lovers, and 6 can also just be love, family, and community, with the father and the child taking a risk together, or just he passing a message of love. The wizard passing out all his secrets, perhaps. Okay, so again, mother and child, father and child energies coming up here. Mother and child on the feminine side, father and child on the masculine side. And again, the odd man out, the one who's not feeling the love. So the divine feminine had Cancer, perhaps Virgo as well, with the 5 of Pentacles card in this deck has literally the hermit without a light in the Mary Magdalene cave. So there's definitely hermit energy there. So it could be Virgo, Cancer, and Taurus, Leo, and Libra, all on the divine feminine side. There were no court cards on her side, just the Empress. Let me just look at that picture really quick. All right, so yeah, just the Empress as far as characters, and perhaps that Virgo or Hermity energy. They could be 2 separate people. And then on the masculine side, there were no major arcana. The masculine had a lot of court cards, including the Sovereign, which is the Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Wounded Warrior, and the King of Cups and Page of Cups. So a lot of people going on the masculine side, a lot of major energies on the feminine side. The bridge between was the Two of Cups and the King of Swords, ceremony. So it's like he's the master of ceremonies of the Two of Cups, and this could definitely be marrying someone, or bringing two people together, or having to be present at something he doesn't necessarily want to be at, but he has to. So he's kind of being cold and withdrawn, or not as friendly as everybody else. So a lot of different energies there. But this is also the 6D manifestation on the bridge between the masculine and feminine. So it's being in that purity of light. And I always get that light in the etheric realms is like fire on the ground. Okay? And then there's a connection with the cups and the pentacles, as in the love and manifestation. That's interesting. That's coming up now. Okay, so the overall energy. So again, like I said, there could be an outdoor wedding here, or some kind of graduation or birthday party, or a big graduation gift here, something like that. The horizontal pillars came up to 7, 15, and 37, which is the Chariot, the Devil, and the King of Cups. And you notice the Chariot and the Devil are Cancer and Capricorn. They're on each other's axis. And then we have the King of Cups, which is unconditional love. And then the overall number was 59, which is the Five of Swords, which can be ending the war, which definitely was the theme in the Twin Flame read here. So there could be an ending of the war, or the internal war. This also, when we're dealing with swords, can be viruses or surgical type energy. But again, it's conflict. The Five of Swords and the Five of Wands are very much about outward conflict. So the vertical pillars came up as 5, 8, 4, 7, 19, 9, and 7, which are the Hierophant, the Strength card, the Emperor, the Chariot, the Sun, the Hermit, and again the Chariot. So the message is being Cancer and Capricorn, and the King of Cups, with unconditional love, facing their fears or themselves. The 5D connection with synchronicities and exposure of the Hermit, perhaps in a car or traveling to end the war within. Both sides supporting a child past their fears. Or perhaps vice versa. Maybe the child is helping you past your fears, or vice versa. Both. So then we have the Twin Flame read, which is the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut at 6:21 when it switched to 22, right at that moment. So 21 to 22, which is switching from the old to the new cycle. It's the death and rebirth of the 21 of the World, the 22 of the Fool, with an open heart, ready to take that leap of faith, and the 6 of the Lovers. And then at 6:32, which is the Lovers on the journey, with 32, E-flexion came up from the cards, and the word on, like it's on. So the E-flexion, and you notice I gave you the E bowl today for the singing bowl. And E is all about it can be the Elohim and Eve energy, so obviously the divine feminine energy, but also of expansion, because it's the number 5. Expansion, freedom, and change, and flexion. And that it's like a fleck, like the spot of light you see in the sky, or a star you see in the sky, and then the ion, which is the outer connection, but that it's on, right? So the expansion to the stars is on. I finished clarifying at 6:46, which is the Lovers and the 6 of Cups, the two children in this deck hugging each other, loving each other. The major arcana here were guidance, which is the Hierophant, abundance, which is the Empress, both Taurus energies, the higher self, which is Pisces, reflection, which is Virgo, that's the Hermit. And then before the read, the Tower and Karma came up, or for me, that's Scorpio and Aquarius. And then after the read, reason, which is the Emperor, came up, which is Aries energy. So we have both the Emperor and the Empress here. We had 2 wands, four pentacles and 1 cup. There were no swords in this read in the main cards. The Page of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands came up here. And before the read, the Page of Swords. We had triple 2s in this read, so again, the one-to-one energies are really important here, whether it's guidance or one-to-one love and relationships connecting. And then the 77, which is the sovereign, being sovereign and in your power, because when you're happy with yourself, manifesting for yourself, you know, no matter when you end up being on your own, you can always be happy in that moment, regardless of whether anyone else is around or not. So we have the other numbers that came up here. We also had double 1s actually were most significant here. The 11 of Justice, of Truth and Balance, that was the most significant number. The triple 2s were kind of after the fact numbers, but they were still reflecting the shadow of the importance of the triple 2s that have been coming up this week. And again, the 1-1 and the 7-7 was most important right here, which is the sovereignty of the 77 and the justice of the 1, which is also the masculine energy of being very focused and directed and being in that selfish energy, which is not a negative thing. If you're selfless, then that means your self isn't here, okay? So it's selfish in the sense in you are existing for you, for your authentic personality, and by connecting to the collective consciousness going within, you then are able to connect with all. So we have the love energy on the code line here, all about love here, and the numbers were 18, but coming from the 11 and the 7. And again, so the moon's important too, but coming up with sovereignty, the Chariot, which is the vehicle of ascension, and the 11, which is the truth and balance, which that's what you need to ascend. And then we have also, there's been word of shift of the moon as well into a more positive energy. And some of the other numbers that came up here were 241, which can be the 2 of the High Priestess, the 4 of the Emperor, the 1 of the Magician, or the 24 of the Queen of Wands and the Magician, or the 2 of the High Priestess and the 41 of the Ace of Cups. We have 17 of the Star, 1, 2, 3 jump, 78, which is the end of the deck, the ultimate dream family or heaven on earth, and then the 12 of the Hangman and the 27 of the Ace of Wands, the flame. Again, the code line was all about love, and here's what came up in the messages there. So we have the T's, the name T could come up, but T for me is toggling up, and also time out. So here, the different ways it was coming up was TC, so T can be a tea that you drink as well, but the CCC also coming up is the C with your eyes, the C of the emotion and your emotions, the C of the letter C and the Christ or unity consciousness, seeing the wise one, the 11, the truth and the balance, which are what you need to be wise, right? As along with love, the double ace or the 1-to-1, seeing the Knight of Pentacles, the loyal humble servant, reaping rewards or implementing a plan to test love. It was also coming up as to tease the Queen, ace to ace or 1-to-1, the C, the loyal humble servant, at the divine feminine's heart in the E tower, testing their love. A time out to see clearly. And then I was getting, I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. So that was coming up. 1-to-1, eye to eye, seeing the Knight of Pentacles, remember the loyal humble servant, in worthiness test of love, humbling themselves perhaps, the constant gardener, the daydreamer, to test their love. We start out with the guidance card reversed in the underlying energy. So this is the guidance card here on top, and the mini cards on top of it, and then 5 cards down, and then 5 cards out at the end here for a 21 card read, which is the world and completion. The guidance with the 5 cards below, starting from the bottom up, was the Tower reversed, the 3 of Wands reversed, Karma reversed, which is the Judgment card, Page of Swords reversed, and then the 7 of Cups upright, which for me represents synchronicities, but also obviously it's lots of options, and it can be confusion when there's too many options or illusions come into play. So after sudden events, epiphanies, or there can be a sexual exchange and orgasm there, looking back at long deliberation and holding back an announcement or bad news or negative self-talk regarding synchronicities or choices or lack of guidance or a divorce. Choosing a new path, starting over with dreams, divorced and dissatisfied or unhappy alone. The Six of Cups is upright here with the children, inner or outer children, loving each other, on a quest but tired in separation, or fighting for kids, pets, or Leo, or ego death and heartbreak and disappointment. In a bold move, moving, traveling, or sending fast, in a need to swallow your pride or their pride, or get the Knight of Cups upright and the King of Pentacles reversed, to wake up. The Six of Cups upright may be soulmates or kids, right? It definitely can be the twin flame energy of the inner children connected. The girl unable to function, the boy being drained, but starting over for justice, truth, and balance, and the King of Wands reversed, exhausted, or sick and tired, and ending a cycle, or by Pisces, or Divine Feminine, working to align without guidance, or outside guidance, right? Only following their own internal guidance, or thinking outside of the box. At 7:14 to 15, which is 14 and 15 is the angel and the devil on each shoulder, so to speak, like from Animal House, and the 7 of the car, the vehicle of ascension, the bull and lion unable to get to their piggy toes, and little lizard on platform unable to get to his, the King of Wands' money clip slippers, or Libra or Judge, tired of being the monkey in the middle between the world and the King of Wands reversed, wasting time, money, and effort, wanting their creative license to do what they want without interference. After a tower event, no gift from or for karmic with bad news or rumors about synchronicities or 7-step program or pogroms coming up here, and a break away from religion, establishment, and or marriage, or Aquarius reversed or Taurus reversed, without guidance or thinking outside the box, working hard to fix, align, be creative, catch up, but it seems never ending. Released by the Queen of Pentacles reversed post-war, letting their guard down, with dark night tired and not ending the cycle, or after a death or end of marriage, love is a battlefield of crosses to bear. A mess left by Edward Scissorhands in a near-death experience, because I guess that's so funny, because it brings up when my son was little and I was cutting his hair, I cut the tip of his ear, so he never let me forget that, and of course I felt awful about it, my sweet little boy's ear. But talking about Edward Scissorhands in a near-death experience, so that may be a wound for someone who had that same experience or something similar in cutting hair or cutting anything for that matter, or a need for apologies on both sides after the war in heart-to-heart conversations. And again, it's any war is just differences between two people, whether it's over politics, whether it's over the virus, whether it's over what you're eating for dinner or how you spend money, whatever it is, it always comes from within, not being at peace within. There's no passion, delays in communication or travel, not telling their true feelings or expressing them, yet spying on lovers to see what they're up to or if they are with someone. There's no shock here or no surprise, or the surprise wasn't a surprise, in splitting of the bulls and heaven in their eyes, synchronicities, and the turtle who's slow to catch on, or someone having an affair right in front of their eyes. So I want to bring up the turtle because that came up when I was watching Elizabeth April. When she talked about the toroidal field and the Taurus, literally when she said Taurus, it sounded like tortoise. So the toroidal field is coming up as the turtle. And I wanted to bring that up to you, right? The toroidal field would then encompass the entire universe, right? So that would be something very slow moving, like the outer planets. They move much slower because they encompass so much more. So here, remember that with the turtle. The turtle slow to catch on, or someone having an affair right in front of their eyes. So after a healthy dinner and a little tickle on the back, and then throwing the book out, like the book on love, on how love making should be done. Or while bulls are chained, the turtle gets the dessert, just kept going and never gave up. Or of the two bulls, one is only into rough, romance and sex, and then the other is into true love. So there's a polarity there, or a contrast more so, because the polarities can be pulled together, but the contrast would pull them apart. The paralyzed by the energetic exchange or a negative exchange, and conflicted and no surprise under the big tent of synchronicities and options, or making out. And blue and white tile work coming up here. And it's very much of the, what is it called? The blue and white tile. I'm just blanking out on that. Whether it's Italian or English, I'm just forgetting what that's called. But anyway, teaching and learning comes up with number 57, which is the Three of Swords, right? Teaching and learning about the energy of separation. And then self-discipline was beneath that with number 41, which is self-love, spiritual love, and new love, and being disciplined in that. The Emperor reversed, coming up out of control, right? And that can be abusing power or losing power or not well. The Emperor's new shoes comes up here as well. Post-war, or virus, infection, or over-isolation, going crazy and tempted by the Holy Grail, and present to that ship that has sailed. Reunion, party, or gathering of joy, but the Page of Swords reversed sees no joy in that, and releasing themselves from imprisonment of it, or Libra, or Gemini, or Aquarius reversed, child, or Virgo could be as well, may be mad that they're all having fun without them. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Or spreading rumors about those who have left them out. And again, the odd man out coming up here. The underlying energies are Taurus and Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, all reversed, Libra and Pisces and Cancer upright, and Virgo reversed, all here in the underlying energies. Released on their own recognizance, or without guidance, or in a divorce, or break from a religion, establishment, or societal norms, working their fingers to the bone, fantasizing while teaching and learning about self at 827, which is the Strength card, the dance between the masculine and feminine, and the 27 of the flame. So the most underlying energies from this read, as you'll see up here in the corner here, is the King of Wands and then the Nine of Swords. The King of Wands, a man of passion, looking away, bored of the air signs, suffering in silence, or stressed out, or crying in bed, or having nightmares still. But when I was then I was going into the energies of what goes forward after this read, and after all the cards were written down, I was getting, and all that jazz, right? So all that jazz, so jazz hands are coming up. And then the Knight of Wands upright and the Queen of Cups upright. Looking different ways, this is going on to the future. The Knight of Wands rushing back and the Queen of Cups looking into her cups of the future, or into the heart. The monkey on her back, and that could be money because I just almost said money instead of monkey. So the monkey on her back, and that may be relating to money, or horny devil or Capricorn with ball and chain, with never-ending suffering, or dealing with a devil child and a drama queen, always dissatisfied with the 10 of Pentacles gifts, right? So maybe there's children or a partner who gets these really expensive gifts and is not showing any gratitude or is never satisfied with anything they get. Or not happy unless they're around their dysfunctional family, again, commiserating, or misery loves company. That's been coming up all week as well. Destined to separate or be disappointed, receiving no love from the Hierophant reversed and Emperor reversed, or redcoats, or father and brother. So that could be father and his brother, or church and state. The boss and their advisor, abusing their power, or not well with doctor, nurse, aide, or last rites. The Page of Pentacles reversed in need of help, or missed opportunity, squandering perhaps, falling and hurt themselves, or falling from grace, lacking faith. The wounded warrior unable to live up to the Page of Wands as inspiration, or the Page of Wands showing off themselves as confident while inside feeling they can't go on like this much longer. At 840, which is the Strength card and the 40 of the Page of Cups, In the recent past is the Ace of Cups reversed. All 4 aces were reversed in this read. The purging, the being dumped, overwhelmed, or with the weight of the world, or too much weight, or working out too much, one step at a time, and not loving oneself, right? One step at a time to a higher love, working to align with joy and come together, whether it be in disconnect or at a distance, not seeing eye to eye or not seeing face to face, with the Knight of Wands rushing in, always to the rescue, and it's a positive intention here, but when others don't see eye to eye, it's like they're always called in. It's the energy of only calling someone in when they're needed, but not including them when they're just having fun, or the others don't want them until they need them for something. Magician magically released, withholding time, money, and effort from the Queen of Swords reversed, who can be an air sign who's negative, or silent, or verbally abusive, or just extremely hurt, which all of those things can come from. But also this can be another sign, doesn't have to be an air sign, but just someone with those qualities. The slave driver who could be dumping on them. The foundation here is the Queen of Pentacles reversed, suffering in silence, or perhaps a sister, but someone lacking faith, awakening to their own ego death and negative self-talk, or their ego and spreading rumors about other people, lying and spying to get what they want, and could have Taurus or Capricorn and or Aries in their chart here. The central energy is the Page of Wands, inspired, now that the family's all happy or done with the happy ending, and the Knight of Wands now rushing back to disconnect or running back from a distance for a reunion with the Ten of Cups family and the King of Cups both upright. But they're uncomfortable, perhaps with crying or buttons being pushed, like maybe not liking to be around this family. Maybe they're all happy, but you aren't, or the Knight of Wands isn't. Overwhelmed or pushed to their emotional limit, or doesn't like to be seen sweating it out, right? Losing their cool, or needing to then sneak away. Coming clean, or doesn't like to be stuck there and then having to clean up. Maybe everyone else parties and socializing, but then you have to clean up. The Page of Wands is challenged by the Knight of Pentacles reversed, refusing to budge, on strike, lazy or out of work or unable to function, defenseless to the High Priestess, secret or Pisces or psychic abilities, and sharing the 5D connection, and choked or needing to swallow their pride from justice or in a divorce, with the King of Swords reversed, maybe in the wrong here. The Page of Cups upright, message of love of the Divine Feminine, Pisces, or the world, and the wounded warrior deeply wounded. The lunar eclipse, deception, and Cancer reversed or up before dawn. There's at 8:55 here, which is strength, and the 55 of truth, the Ace of Swords, the Excalibur, moving, visiting, unstable, marriage, establishment, or old man, or Taurus reversed, unable to express their feelings of wanting to start over, with the King of Pentacles, right, which is an earth sign energy, very stable and grounded, and perhaps well off, recovering from the past and being patient, the patient angel of a higher love, or Sagittarius, with conflict at the workplace or third party through work, post-war or virus, frustrated, uninspired, unable to conceive of something, or not aroused or humored by it, where the aggressor here now is backing off. Now, in the now moment crowning, is the Knight of Wands, upright with a slow burn, and again that's very fiery energy and moving energy, traveling, ascending to peace, away from the Queen of Swords reversed, in a breakup or lack of affection, or Gemini reversed. And again, remember I told you with Mercury retrograde, Geminis may be very fixed right now, which isn't usual for them, coming together at work now that the worst is over and released, or no more infection issues. The Page of Wands upright, inspired. Can't read what I wrote there, but oh, this is what I wrote. So this is like the Page of Wands is inspired or humored when the Queen of Wands reversed gets pissed off. So this is, when you're around family And, the Queen of Wands reversed always gets pissed off at certain things, and the Page of Wands may be triggering her on purpose, whether it's a child or a relative or a partner who's acting like a child, being impish, to get her mad, doing it on purpose. Or the Queen of Swords reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed may be blocking the Page of Wands from getting in to see the Knight of Wands, who's moving in with the Hierophant reversed, or one with Taurus in their chart, not Taurus sun sign though. The Knight of Wands could be Leo, or tackling the boar or beast. Leo strong-arming the innocent, or don't like the way the father or child is being treated in a nursing facility or hospital or program. No communication may be an issue here at work in the aftermath of sudden events. The Five of Cups reversed is over it, no longer putting themselves out there. The Queen of Cups is upright to the King of Wands reversed in need of help, or perhaps lost their opportunity with them and holding on to money, or being the magician, the man, the King of Pentacles with it all. With the High Priestess, secret counsel, or Pisces, or aid, religious woman moving out or visiting, or in a house of cards, or a house that is unstable. The Queen of Pentacles reversed is offering love to exhausted dark night, or after a death offering condolences. Or the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the King of Pentacles upright, where the King of Pentacles is the Knight of Cups offering love, and the High Priestess or religious woman or secret, they may, whoever that's representing may be tired of them offering love, whether it's to them or someone else. So the Queen of Pentacles, so the High Priestess would be more of the energy of the Queen of Cups. And she's coming up upright, and so is the High Priestess, so that might be the Queen of Cups. But the King and Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles is reversed, so she's not in a happy place right there. So soon as the abundance energy of the Empress with lots of synchronicities, like a ton of synchronicities, an abundance of synchronicities in the 5D connection, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or the world at large, in dysfunction or loss, and the King of Wands reversed in a breakup or lost love, recovering to settle out, with the Devil waving, or Capricorn temptation, and the King of Cups coming together with the Knight of Swords upright, or the King of Cups could be siding with the group. The King of Cups and the King of Cups came up with the Ten of Cups family as well, so they may resonate with the Ten of Cups family. So the Ten of Cups and the Empress both upright here, waving goodbye. I don't know if they're waving goodbye to each other or together waving goodbye. There definitely looks like an energy of settling out here, or someone showing up who's a temptation to the Empress, or pissing off the King of Wands, right? So the Devil here waving could be the King of Cups, and they're getting along with the family or the group, the Ten of Cups or the Three of Cups. But the King of Wands reverse obviously is not, but he's also connected to the Empress. Okay, so and these could be two different Empresses as well, but they're both connected to the Empress. The King of Cups may have addiction issues though, but he's upright right now, so he may be clean right now, but he can't be around temptations. And maybe the King of Wands is the problem for the King of Wands, or the King of Cups upright, because he, can lose his temper or have addictions of sex or partying and that kind of stuff. That could be as well. But they both have a connection to the Empress, which could be the mother of both of them. They could be brothers. So the twin flames are seeing themselves as their higher self, looking back at the messenger of truth and the Knight of Cups, right? Being the messenger of truth and being love are both the attributes of the twins, to help others break their patterns and or drop their facades, and being more authentic and getting clarity perhaps on back pain or betrayal or painful endings and no attention, failure, and doing things under the radar. All destined to get over it and reap rewards. Remember, you have to go through it in order to transmute it. And this is all regarding rewards of the Divine Feminine's heart. Deception comes up, trust, and then wedding. This situation involves weddings. And this was at 9/18, which happens to be my birthday, so there may be birthday parties out there going on right now. Again, you see the contrast between deception and trust, right? Because they're basically opposites. You don't trust if there's deception, right? So playing between those energies and the issue, which is why there's an issue in this marriage here, which is not working. So there's higher self here, and then around the twins, or how they may be seen, is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, which is withholding time, money, and effort, or perhaps just saving for a new life. It just depends on your perspective. And the Ace of Wands reversed is here as well. And remember, we had 3 aces in the read as the major cards, right? We have the Ace of Pentacles here with the Ace of Wands on top of it together. And then we have the Ace of Cups over there in the recent past. So right here at this moment, they're reflecting 3 different ace energies, all but the Ace of Swords. And they're all reversed. So we have the withholding of time, money, and effort, and sexual discomfort. So uncomfortable with the sexual energy, but without time, money, and effort, unable to function. So that someone could be saying, you know, it's one thing, it's all good to say love and sex are great, but without the stability, you know, you won't have any of it, right? Because you won't have a home or a place to live or food to eat. So somebody could be saying that, and that sounds like a logical man type energy, or the divine masculine, something they would say. Or one partner is withholding sex, and then the other is withholding time, money, and effort. And there again, there's the deception and trust play. The block here for the twins is the 7 of Pentacles, which is reaping rewards, the constant gardener, or daydreaming type of energy, working out in the yard or garden, or deciding how to invest your money. Are you going to go back to work? Are you going to save? Are you going to invest? Are you going to spend? Right? So thinking about what you want to do. But the divine feminine, the 7 of Pentacles in this deck also represents the divine feminine's heart in the E Tower. And the temptation of the Empress needing the courage and strength, or the Empress and the King of Wands reversed, may be here settling out. And again, a lot of times the King of Cups and the Emperor come up as the 2 patriarchs of the different families, right? So if you're in a marriage, one's the father and one's the father-in-law. And again, the Montagues and Capulets come up all the time in the twin flame read. So at 922, which is the Hermit and the 22 of the Fool, right? The Hermit going within, the Fool who's free to leap outside and enjoy himself. Again, a polarity type of energy. Love is here, with the Queen of Cups upright and the 2 of Cups reversed, whether being in disconnect or at a distance, with the Hermit reversed, with the light. Give me just 1 second because I wanted to double check on something. So the Hermit's not reversed, but when we have the like I said, the 5 of Pentacles card in this deck can be the Hermit without the light. But the Hermit ultimately here is upright. And I think I just wrote that wrong here. So the Hermit is upright here, which is Virgo energy, but it's also the wise one, the wise grandparent, a professional who's giving you help, whether it's a doctor, a psychologist, or a financial advisor, whatever it is. Love is here, okay, with the Hermit and the Fool. The Queen of Cups upright, right? She's warm and loving and focused on her heart and intuitive. In disconnect, not seeing eye to eye, or just at a distance, not being able to see each other face to face, with the Hermit, with the light. Perhaps focusing on dependence, powerlessness, and spending. In a split, divide, or dealing with lies and deception. Defenselessness, and perhaps without an excuse, taking forever to end with X, with issues at the workplace. And that can be any place of co-creation, whether it's school or church or the art center or the gym, whatever it is. Post-war frustrations and defending sexual energy here. The Hermit with new information of a move or visit, or instability of a structure, with the 2 of Cups reversed and disconnect or distant, now released with or from the Emperor reversed and the twin flame, or to the twin flame, or to choose a new path with the Hermit. So there's ego death and seeing the light here. No guidance, or Taurus Queen of Pentacles reversed, with higher self, or Pisces withholding time, money, and effort and love, And the Page of Wands upright, inspired, but challenged by the King of Pentacles reversed, who's blocking them. I'm sorry, it's the Knight of Pentacles, not the King. So the Knight of Pentacles reversed, which is that very stubborn, and that can be a Taurus energy, but it can be any earth energy. The Knight of Pentacles reversed, stubborn, on strike, resisting to move, unable to function. Maybe they're disabled, or maybe they can't find a job, but they're the block here, resisting change, no movement at all. This is the challenge for the Page of Wands, who's really inspired and wants to get going. So the block of the Empress, the abundance or Taurus, reaping rewards of the Knight of Wands, Hermit. Again, there's the fiery energy of the Hermit, and then the Knight of Pentacles reverse is coming up as the Empress or Taurus energy. So there's a play between Virgo and Taurus, but fire as well. With clarity of disconnect or distance and released, the Emperor reversed, or released from the Emperor reversed, to the twin flame, or to choose a new path for themselves. Hierophant is reversed here, which also could be somebody with Taurus in their chart, but not Taurus Sun. So there may be a Hierophant reversed, dealing with thinking outside. This is a divorce or break from a contract or commitment or tradition or societal norms. This could be thinking outside the box or being more spiritual, but also regarding the divorce or break. And the Taurus reversed, perhaps someone dumped, purging, overwhelmed by release from prison and or anxiety and fears. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the Page of Wands and Knight of Wands both upright here. And all three of them may be challenged by that Knight of Pentacles block, or Taurus, or stubbornness, or resistance to move, refusing to budge, or this could be two sets of siblings here. The Queen of Pentacles and Knight of Pentacles could be older siblings who are fixed energies, who refuse to move and are being stubborn, and then the Page of Wands and Knight of Wands who are too young, spirited energies, just raring to go. Very opposite energies here. Very different. And the Knight of Pentacles reversed may be a challenge for them. Not so much the Queen. Yeah, the Queen too. They're both reversed. So, and they're representing like the most extreme of no movement at all, and the most extreme of fast, young movement, right? Inspired, without restraint movement. So it's a big polarity there. The higher self, or Pisces, abundant Empress or Mother, withholding or just saving to reap rewards of the Hermit, or hermiting, with clarity and new information that's come in of a disconnect or being distant, or about somebody at a distance, and then release of their fears of the Emperor reversed, who may be out of control or ill or injured, and choosing a new path here. Right? So they're out of control, abusing power, or out of control, stepping down from power. Maybe they can't handle it anymore. So they just could be ill or injured as well, or just having a bad day, or having a bad year. And now they're needing to choose a new path. And definitely the twin flame energy comes up with that. We also have like a side note here of the Tarot of Sexual Magic, where the energies were about the Queen of Swords and the Magician, the hangry magician, with memories of the Queen of Wands reversed, maybe flirting and partying up the mountains, finding peace, but unhappy getting caught with their pants down, and the Knight of Wands rescuing the Page of Wands from the fires, or somebody could be having sex with multiple partners as well, and this could be you worrying about children as well who are coming of age and doing things that are foolish or not good for themselves. The Queen of Swords may be mad at the Magician with fond memories of the Queen of Wands. There could be jealousy there. The Queen of Wands could be a flirtation, but also a peaceful exchange, and now dissatisfied getting caught in a romantic rescue, fire, and or exchange here. So we're going to pull some oracle cards now. It's 59, so it's the 11th hour literally, with the 59 being the Five of Swords, being the war within. And I watched 2 movies last night. I watched The Meddler, which was actually, I really enjoyed that. So you think the meddler is going to be, a pain in the ass person, right? Which they are. But it was such a wonderful movie about the perspective of this person, of being their authentic self, and the joy in that, and learning to see that. It's a really good movie for understanding perspective and love and being your authentic self. So I would definitely advise watching, and Spirit's connecting with me like crazy. It's making me want to cry. I don't know why. It's just a really high vibrational energy here that's coming up. It's like the one, the mother, I'm not going to tell you much about the movie, but it's about, the meddling mother, who always calls too much and all that kind of stuff. And it's 11:44 on the clock. Oh, wow. It was just 1000, and it was 11:44 on the clock. And whether that's the personality of your mother or your mother has a totally different personality, it's definitely about the mother's interference in your life, or perhaps lack of interference, and then being able to have a new perspective about them. This was a really positive movie, though. You have to watch that. And I also watched Dancing Queens, which was that was a really fun movie, too. It was very sweet. And again, about being open-minded to other things. And even the people who traditionally have been the odd man out, or considered the oddballs, or the minority, can also end up being the perpetrator, or the ones putting out the prejudice or the lack of acceptance. So there's always a new perspective, and no one's left out of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards here. I actually want to hit my little bowl for you guys again, so take a deep breath. Yeah, a lot of stress came up. Maybe I was bringing up some wounds that really do need to come up and be cleared. So just pay attention to what that wound is for you, so you know why that's coming up and what the entry wound was, so that once you bring it up to your consciousness, then you're releasing it. You no longer need to deal with that coming into your energy field. And so it is. Just feel into that discomfort and send it love, that it's okay. All right, let's pull from I want to pull from my oracle, my Starseed oracle first. We'll give you some kind of more galactic energies, and these cards are activating as well, so you might want to look at the image. They're still a little stiff because they're new. Okay, let's see what's coming up for the Twin Flames from the Galactic deck. Okay, 2 cards popped up. The bottom of the deck is the Chamber. I was just going to say the Chamber of Commerce. So I don't know if somebody's dealing with the Chamber of Commerce. But here's the Chamber of Communication, Correspondence, Declaration, and Telepathy. It's all about communication, so take a good look at that picture. See if I can focus it in more for you. There we go. Okay, so that's the underlying energy, which is 58, which is the 4 of Swords. For me, that's the connection in the 5D. And the 2 cards that came out for you guys are these two, adenine and thymine, with duality, contrast, trust, and balance. And trust came up specifically in the read today, along with deception and duality here. So you see the duality and trust, contrast, and balance. So this card's bringing up all of those reads as well, the contrast between trust and duality. So take a look at that card as well. And then we have this came up with it, which is the hydrogen atom, consciousness, beginning, and faith. And that was coming up with the toroidal field and the torus that I talked about. This is exactly what Elizabeth April was talking about, seeing the donut, but it's dark and it's transparent, so all you can see is the circle around. And this is an oval, but it's just tilted. It's like a circle like this or like this, but it's tilted. So it's that energy. The hydrogen atom, the consciousness, beginning, and faith. So the whole, and then the duality, the contrast, the trust, and the balance. They're just 2 sides of the same coin, stemming from the same thing, but just the 2 different sides, the duality and contrast versus the trust and balance. So very interesting. I love how they came up like that. All right, we're going to go to the Animal Spirit deck. Let's see what they have to say. Yes, my ants are definitely communing in my kitchen. There's a few of them, but not a lot. Probably there may be more than 3, so maybe 4 or 5, but that's all there is. And they're hanging out sleepily, being lazy today at my sink, so that may be an energy that's out there for you guys, which is that challenge right here of the Knight of Pentacles, and I'm actually still in my PJs, so there you go. And I'm Virgo energy, so that could be that as well. So let's see what's coming up from the Animal Spirit deck. All right, 2 cards popped out together, the Crocodile and the Hummingbird. Very different energies there. So there's that contrast again. And then the Rabbit wants to be seen as well as the odd man out, and they're scared. And then we have the bottom of the deck, which is the Cobra. Whoops, the Cobra just fell out. Oh, the bottom just fell out is what I was getting. And there's the Frog behind the Cobra. So the Cobra had to fall out for you to see the Frog being rained on, but they like water. So let me feel into that for a second. And you notice too that the frog and the crocodile both have the same yellow eye. They have a different center. And I just told you that it's not an oval, it's actually round. You're just seeing it from a different perspective. Here you see it as round, here you see it as a slit, but it's just sideways. Very interesting. And then there's the Cobra head on with a different shape. But remember, it's saying, remember the perspective. And they're all lizards here, right? The Cobra has a very wise energy, but remember it also can snap. And the Cobra brings up the energies of when the student is ready, the teacher will come. So here's like the Frog to Prince energy. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. And then the teacher just fell out, right? So if you slip back into your old energies, the teacher could leave just as quickly as they come. So show gratitude and gratefulness for the teacher that has come. And then we have these 3 guys. So the crocodile, I was just getting Crocs. So I don't know if this has to do with shoes, right? Because we make alligator shoes. Maybe the crocodiles are asking you not to make shoes out of them. And then here's the hummingbird, who's shining their bright light, trying to whisper in the crocodile's ear, right? Crocodile smiles, and the crocodile lays in wait, right? They're very patient until they know it's time. And while they're waiting, the hummingbird is whispering in their ear or in their eye, perhaps, right? A thorn in their eye, which that can bring up adrenochrome too, because there's actually a movie which actually shows someone putting a needle in someone's eye to withdraw from the pineal gland. All right, and then here's the little bunny who's scared, right? So this one's laying in wait. This one's whispering in their ear, trying to raise their vibration. And this one's like the scared child laying in wait for rescue, right? I'm so scared, right? So here is, I'm going to read to you the crocodile because that's the most significant coming out first, but I want to read to you the hummingbird as well. So the crocodile is water. I love the little otter. The frog came up here too in water. So let's see here. Where are you, crocodile? He's being elusive. He's actually in the beginning of the chapter, which tends to be the more lower vibrations as we go up in the chapter. But they're resting, submerging, collecting energy, and cooling off. The crocodile reminds us to step back from the external world and turn inward. Now is not the time for decisions, action, or discussion. The crocodile's mantra is wait. This doesn't mean lying around hoping life's challenges will disappear. The crocodile is much smarter than that. It means intentionally withdrawing, gathering our awareness, observing, and building energy. Fill up the vital reserves so your next move comes from a place of wisdom and power. When in balance, wise, patient, and a silent powerhouse, When they're out of balance, they feel stuck and they lash out, which is the challenge in our read, is the stuckness. So maybe a crocodile here out of balance. In order to bring into balance, rest and Makarasana pose. I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right. And that is the crocodile. So again, when they're stuck, they lash out, but they usually know how to be silent and patient and wait and wise, ready to attack. And then the hummingbird, which is air. And the hummingbird says positive, enthusiastic, and spiritually resourceful. And remember, the hummingbird's whispering in the crocodile's ear. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather their nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. So maybe the hummingbird's returning to the crocodile to get rejuvenation from them, perhaps take their energy. This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature and creativity and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of light becomes sweet, every moment worth savoring. But this depends if the hummingbird's in balance or not in balance. So if they're in balance, they're definitely an energy you want and you want to hear, because they're smart, curious, and they love to learn. But when they're out of balance, they can be pushy, insistent, and sharp, right? So if they're out of balance, speaking to an out of balance crocodile, who can then, snap, they can be pushy, insistent, and sharp. So for the hummingbird to come back into balance, they need to take a class, because they need to talk or learn, right? It's the hummingbird. They go really fast. And then the bunny. The bunny is earth. But they're so scared. So the rabbit says afraid of everything, overwhelmed and frozen. And this, again, the Knight of Pentacles reverse can come up as unable to function because you're paralyzed by your fears, okay? So the rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. The crocodile is going to eat me one day. He talks and talks and talks about it so loudly, in fact. So this could be, the hummingbird could literally represent the bunny in the crocodile's ear and annoying them. He talks and talks and talks about it so loudly, in fact, that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. And the rabbit energy is alive when we are scared. So again, the rabbit speaking in the crocodile's ears may give him an idea to eat him. So the rabbit energy is alive when we're most scared, most often about the future, and we become our own worst enemy. We spin up a dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and words, O rabbit, they shape your destiny. So when in balance, they're sensitive, problem solvers, and good listeners, but when they're out of balance, the bunny over-explains or talks fast. And I'm sure you've all experienced that energy. To bring back into balance a day of silence. Okay? So bunny rabbits, don't give the crocodile a reason to eat you. And then the journey of love, to close it up, as it's 1:13:14 with his transformation and the higher love. At 11:57, which is justice and the Three of Swords. The truth and balance of the separation, of the heartache, the disappointment. The rain. All right, from Journey of Love, what is our message today? And a couple cards, 3 cards came out. 1, 2 more. And then they want me to count this next bunch. Hold on. All right, that's it. Okay. So the ones I have to count, let me just count them real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Again, the shadow side. And the top card is the Pearl Threaded, which is the 38, and the Queen of Cups. So the shadow side of the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is very much that energy of the pearl. She's very soft and kind, but there's a shadow side to that, the Pearl Threaded, right? The need to connect with others. Maybe she's fine and generous when she has time to be by herself, But in connection, it may bring out something that she, her discomfort, and then would cause an imbalance and some kind of reaction there. So the cards that came out for you guys, these 3 cards, is Shakti, which is 19 of the Sun, which I told you a lot of Leos coming up here, but there's a lot of feminine energy regarding this Leo energy. And then the Guardian of the Soul family, the 26 of the Page of Wands, which can be the child or the flame. And then the Cosmic Butterfly, which again has this mother energy of the butterfly in the breast. And the 36 of the Atlas, the wounded warrior, the weight of the world upon their shoulders, with the Cosmic Butterfly in transformation. So it's like the, the soft mother and the fiery mother. And then the child within, the fiery child. So let's see what Shakti has to say for us. There's definitely that mother and child energy, but father and child as well is coming up in the read. So both are coming up. Let's see what 19 says today. And 26 just opened, so I'll read that one too. 19, Shakti. Shakti is the divine feminine fire. She is the body awakened with light. She is the divine feminine, and she is the Kundalini, the energetic force that moves through us, triggered by love that leads to enlightenment of our body. With our Kundalini coming alive within us, we cannot remain as we once were. It is impossible. We may try to lead the same lives, be the same in our relationship patterns, and perhaps even behave properly, but it simply cannot be done. Soon our disguise slips and people wonder, what happened to her, or what's gotten into him? We are on fire with the divine, and we cannot help but misbehave. We are no longer satisfied with trying to be the good child or fearing we are the bad child. We know ourselves instead to be the divine child, the child that lives fully and with passionate fire, not doing things the way they are supposed to be done perhaps, but living instead from the heart. Our body may ache as we burn through old pain, but sometimes the light within may seem so bright, it blinds us for the moment. But that will pass, and the misbehaving will suddenly be seen for what it is. The old rules just don't fit anymore. You don't plug a globe capable of illuminating the whole world into the bedside reading lamp without burning down the house. It's best to let that light shine as it was meant to in the big arena. Shakti is making your light grow, beloved. Be prepared to shine brighter. This oracle brings you a message. You're going through energetic shifts in your subtle anatomy. Because your energy body and your physical body have already begun to merge with each other, the energetic shifts will affect your physical body too. It's always wise to consult a healthcare practitioner, but at least some of your physical challenges at the moment, from aches and pains to tiredness, are due to this energetic awakening. Take responsible action as you feel is necessary, such as tending to your physical well-being with healthcare that feels supportive, but also remember to rest, get some time in nature, and nurture your body as it is spiritually awakening into greater light. The poem reads, I've watched you hurting and felt helpless to make life better for you. Loving you is having to make choices to let you be who you are, who you become, and all the who's yet to come. To love you is to ride the waves of your passionate embrace of life, ever mindful of the change in the wind and the occasional tempest brewing. Loving you is having to make choices and knowing it isn't my fault. I can still choose to take it personally or just be while I listen and watch you unfold. Your heart is a beauty I will always love. It's the part of you that hasn't changed much over time. When I lie beside you and hear you breathe, when I touch your skin or caress your hair, you are timeless, and I choose loving you. Okay, and I wanted to read 26 as well, because that opened right up to 26, the guardian of the family. You're being drawn to kindred spirits in the physical world by loving guardians in the spiritual worlds. If you feel you're leaving relationships behind, do not be afraid. The space that such courageous action creates is sometimes necessary in order to have room for the new to enter your sphere of consciousness. You may also feel that somehow a relationship that seemed to be held back from you is now becoming available to you. There's a great soul love calling you into more intimate connection now. It is sanctioned by the divine, and it is karmic destiny to fulfill. There is love that you are to experience in connection with particular souls, predetermined by the divine plan. If you're struggling to feel the soul purpose in your current relationships, take heart, for you are being helped by divine guardians who understand and support the sacred purpose of your relationships. Be open to current relationships healing, whether that means improved communication and enriched experience, or the realization that you have traveled as far as you can together, and know that new relationships are going to be an important aspect of your spiritual destiny being fulfilled. Trust in the divine timing of your life and open your heart to the guardians who help you with unconditional love now. The guidance of this oracle for you is that relationship healing is taking place, in present relationships unfolding, in attracting the right relationships for your future growth, and in leaving behind relationships of the past with a peaceful heart. Be gentle with your heart, beloved. All is well. When I open my heart, you cover me with a blanket of love and warm the silence with your caress. Words unspoken say it all as we become more than we are alone. As it was 20:01, the Magician and the High Priestess. Make sure to drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, or just do what you want. Follow your own guidance and rise and be loved. 2020, guys. Bye.